Group projects. We know them. We love them. Nah, that's cap. Everybody hates group projects. Suck eggs, dude. There's always somebody in a group project who does all the work. There's someone who is just kind of along for the ride. And then there's the slacker. Doesn't do anything, doesn't even attempt to do anything, and gets the same grade regardless. Group projects suck. However, there is great lessons to be learned from them. First of all, working in teams is, like a big deal. Group projects are a major part of life for all of life. Get ready for that. Anyway, there's a big aspect of group projects that gets overlooked a lot, and that is ownership. And that's what we're talking about today. Because ownership is like the biggest quality that you can learn as a young person. Like if you can get ownership down at a young age, you're set for life, man, because everybody wants the guy who takes ownership on their team. Everybody, because that's the type of person who has the accountability to take them far in life. So let's say you're doing a group project, right? And you made commitments, but it's busy week, all right? Maybe you're in college. Maybe it's finals week and you got a ton of other stuff to do. Maybe you got a job or an internship, or maybe your girlfriend exploded or something like that. Like a ton of different things happen. And all of a sudden the deadline comes around and you have one final meeting and show up to the meeting and one of the guys looks at you and is like, hey, did you get this thing done? And you're like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot to do that. Those moments are the worst because you have two options and they both suck. Option one is deny and be like, oh no, you didn't tell me to do that. Totally deflect and defend yourself and do everything you can to not get hurt by this mistake that you've made. That's the easy way out. The second option is the hard way out. This is ownership, taking ownership of your mistake. Those are your two options. Option two is way, way better, but option two sucks eggs and ain't nobody wants to pick option two, but you have to, because like I said, ownership is a big freaking deal. And low key, how you take ownership is like really confusing because a lot of people are just like, my fault. And that's like ownership. No, that's not ownership. Ownership is very complex and it is really meaningful. And that's kind of why it's so powerful, is when you actually take ownership, it's a big freaking deal. So let's talk about the 4 A's of ownership. All right. The A number 1, the first A, admit. Okay. This is the one that everybody likes to talk about, is what they think ownership is. They do step 1, they do the first A, and they're like, I'm done. I've taken ownership. So let's talk about it. Admitting. This is just when you basically look somebody in the eyes and you're like, I messed up. That's it. Ownership at its core, most fundamental and basic level, is saying that you messed up. It's not deflecting or defending or being like, oh, what? It's not getting defensive. You have to say out loud that you messed up. You have to say it, because once you say it, then you can move on to the next thing. Apologize. This one is big. Honestly, ego is such a big deal in the world. Saying I'm sorry is so difficult. You ever been in a situation where like you know that you're in the wrong and you just cannot bring yourself to say that you're sorry? It's so hard for some reason, but it's such a crucial part of ownership that we have to talk about. So apologize. Look someone dead in the eyes and say, I am sorry. I know that this mistake that I made not only hurt myself, but it hurt you, and that is wrong. Come outright with it and make sure that the person that you hurt knows that you're taking ownership by apologizing. A number 3, this one's brutal. Accept the consequences. If you messed up, right? You admit that you messed up. You apologize that you messed up. Then the next step is to accept the consequences. So let's go back to that group project analogy, all right? You mess up. There was something that you needed to do that didn't get done. Accepting the consequences is being like, I am so sorry I messed up. I'm gonna stay up all night tonight and get this completed so that when we wake up tomorrow morning and we have to submit, we're good. We're ready to go. Accepting is about owning the punishment the same way that you own the mistake. If you're in a group project and you mess up and you make the whole group bear the consequences, that is messed up. If I'm in a group with you and you pull that sort of garbage, we're throwing hands, man. So if you mess up and you want to take ownership, you have to accept the consequences. You have to accept the punishment and take it on so that the people that you hurt aren't hurt anymore. That's ownership. And the 4th A. This one, low-key, is the easiest of the A's. I'm not gonna lie. It's probably one of the more important, but it's the easiest. Adapt. All right. This A is all about learning from your mistake, right? So you made the mistake, you admitted it, you apologized, you accepted the consequences, and now you're like, I will not let this happen in the future, right? So the 4th A is all about learning from your mistake. It's one thing to make a mistake in the past. It's another to make the same mistake later on. I mean, honestly, if you're not learning from your mistake, mistake, you're not taking ownership. So those are the 4 A's of ownership: admit, apologize, accept, and adapt. If you can do those 4 things, then you are for sure taking ownership. And remember, taking ownership is a big deal, and you have to take it serious. Take ownership in everything that you do. Well, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.